Victoria, I'm so excited to chat with you today. How are you on this lovely Monday?
I am so wonderful. Super excited to talk about websites.
Good. I love talking about sites with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Victoria Thornton, and I am Lone First website project manager. I have a background in marketing with most of my previous experience in fitness marketing and finance marketing. That being said, I started my journey as a marketing consultant, but I quickly became fascinated with the entire website process. And so naturally, my focus just began to gravitate towards the website process and website projects that we were working on. So I am now Lone Fir's website project manager. So I handle the majority of our website projects, and then I also have an integral part in overseeing our development resources and just work with a lot of clients to really help bring those websites to life.
Absolutely. Yes, you do. I love working with you. Well, why don't you walk us through what a basic web development process is and take it away?
Yeah, so I will go in as quickly as I can. But basically, the website process is we like to break it down into around 6 phases. Phase one being that information gathering and discovery phase. This is going to be like the most important part of the website process because we're starting to analyze the client's need. We're starting to analyze their requirements. And in this phase, it's really important to understand the purpose that for the client to understand the purpose of a website, but also for us to understand the goals of that website.
Mhm.
Um, so what is the target audience? What type of content or your target audience is looking for? These factors are just really important to determine upfront before moving on to any additional phases of the process. So after that, we move into phase two, which is going to be that planning phase where basically you're prioritizing those tasks. You're basically seeing what we need to complete the website. And in this phase, we'll develop that site map for you. And we decide on your menus and your navigation and all of that wonderful stuff that goes into the website. Um, but after that, we move on to design and copy. So here's where those creatives are going to jump in, and they're really just going to design and write the copy from their understanding of the goals that we've outlined in that first discovery phase. So after that's done, we move into development. This is, another crucial part, basically, because this is where we begin implementation of the website. We integrate all of the information that we've learned previously and that we've collected, and it's basically where it comes to fruition and you have the actual development of those website pages. So we don't stop there because obviously we want to check our work. We want to make sure that we're doing a thorough job. So after it comes back from development, we go into a QA process, and
Mhm.
then that's going to include content testing, functionality testing, design testing, just making sure that everything that we've outlined so far is accurate on the page as it stands. Um, and then the exciting phase, which is launch, sort of kind of bulked into that testing and delivery phase for phase five. But everybody is so excited at this point. You finally get to that launch phase. But after that, we move into phase six, which is a sort of maintenance phase where we're following the launch. We monitor that site for typically a set number of days, so we can kind of cover ourselves and make sure that we're not missing any bugs or any thing that we might run into. So, and after that, we've got a fully up running site and everything's wonderful, hopefully.
You make it sound so smooth and awesome. And I think our web development process and a lot of other agencies follow a similar pattern, but just making sure, like you said right away, like the research piece and building the bones of your site and making sure that that's set up right is really the most important piece. And implementing it, of course, is great, but making sure that you're implementing the right things is so important. I love that.
Absolutely. Very.
It kind of goes into my next question. Like, why is strategy and research so important?
Yeah. Basically, strategy upfront and strategy and research in the beginning phase is so important because every website has a different purpose.
Mhm.
Um, websites that are built without a clear goal often result in a variety of things, from a poor user experience or a bloated website design or lack of conversion rate optimization. So really establishing those goals early on, it will help not only help your digital strategy, but it'll help provide sort of that roadmap that kind of carries you as you're going through the process. So it's just important that all parties really understand and are they have a set expectation of the bottom line. So, if are your identified goals impacting that bottom line? And if not, it's possible that you might have to reevaluate and step back into that that discovery phase, so you can really outline what the needs are for the website.
I love that. Awesome. One of the things that we talk about, we offer kind of a few different styles of web development. One is like traditional web development, which you talked through in the beginning, but then another one is a little tweak on traditional web development. It's called growth-driven design. So what's the, or sometimes you call it GDD. So what's the difference between growth-driven design, GDD, or traditional web development?
Yeah, I love talking about both, actually, because they are vastly different. And while this new edition or new-ish edition of growth-driven design it's wonderful for many, many reasons, so is traditional for a variety of other reasons. So if we're jumping back to the traditional website process, it takes you through that 6-phase process that we discussed. And basically your entire website is planned out in one fell swoop. So it typically it's a hefty upfront cost, and the timeline is typically longer because you are planning out that entire website. But in the end, you have a completely new website, and it is a one-time resource commitment. So depending on your goals and the expectations of your website, it might work for you, but GDD might as well. So the different angle or the different approach to growth-driven design is it revolves around building and optimizing your website focused on metrics and buyer personas and data. So instead of having that, everything built out at once and then leaving it alone for, 1.5 to 2 years until you touch it again, GDD prioritizes this sort of, they call it a launch pad. So it's like a launch pad website. It typically is the homepage and your product pages maybe, or, any other elements.
Blog page, yeah.
Right. Any other elements that are like the most helpful for your site and for your visitors. And we push that live pretty quickly. You can get it up and running very quickly. But after that, after we've pushed that live, we do like monthly iterations for user experience and website data, and really sort of identifying those additional priorities to improve and build on the website. So you're consistently evaluating your users and what they're doing and what they like. Something that I have in my initial research for GDD, I read this, and it basically lays out in layman's terms how you can explain to someone what GDD is and how to kind of get them on board in one way or another. But so if you were to make and sell chocolates, would you rather produce it all in one go and have no surefire purchases because you don't know what your customers will like? Or would you rather start small and keep experimenting on what better suits your customers and be sure that the chocolates that you're producing are the chocolates that they like and the chocolates that you'll sell? So essentially, GDD it's the approach that allows you to implement slowly and measure your progress along the way and ensure that every move that you make for your website is they're the chocolates that your customers like. So
I love that. And I love that illustration. It was so good. And one of the things, just like to kind of throw in there, I've seen GDD be really successful with organizations that are growing or scaling. And maybe they're trying out new services or products in a market. And before they, build out a robust, product or services part of their website, it's really helpful to kind of see what even, gains traction. Or like you mentioned, there might be a few pages that we get up and running, but are there areas of the site, do they need to have a more robust how it works section, or, is the team a huge part of the buyer's journey? Do they want to understand your expertise? Like, what's so important to build out? And oh my goodness, Victoria, that chocolate illustration was perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I love it. I saw it and I was like, how could you not understand this after, like it's just so
Right.
fun and playful, but yeah, I love
I
it.
love that. So cool. And then the last question is, how can the development process help set a team up for success?
So the success at the end of a project, it really starts from the very beginning. So the initial planning is going to affect your entire process.
Mhm.
Once the project is started, just really making sure that you're maintaining that good pace throughout, that you're encouraging good communication, keeping everyone informed of the progress throughout your entire process through regular team meetings, or just continuing to evaluate priority tasks and upcoming deadlines, and making sure that you are communicating your workflows accurately. Our team works on weekly sprints, and this is just something that we've identified works best for us. So to have that fixed time frame for work to be accomplished is also really
Mhm.
helpful in planning out when you're identifying those timelines.
I love that. And I think it really helps too when you have a good communication with the team to, plan like, hey, I need this back from your team at this time, or, this is the time that we're going to be working on this. So it'd be great if we could collaborate during this time. It just helps the launch of the site go so smoothly.
Yeah, it really does.
Awesome. Victoria, thank you so much for chatting with us. I love hearing you talk so much about the web development process. And again, the chocolate illustration was just on point.
Thank you. It was so wonderful talking to you.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.